Now, at this stage of the last election campaign, the polls were beginning to shift towards Labour. Now, some people say, well, lightning doesn't strike twice, but you're obviously hoping that it does.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it is the challenge, in particular in our heartlands, in particular to those people who voted Leave, maybe traditional Labour supporters who are thinking about voting Conservative or Brexit Party. The reality is our message has got to be come home to Labour, because it is only Labour that will actually address the concerns that made them vote Leave in the first place.
Really? You'll address my concerns, will you, Len? I'm doubting that one. My concerns with the EU started with the Lisbon Treaty. They moved up a gear when Blair and Brown pulled the referendum on the said treaty because they saw the polls and they saw that we would overwhelmingly reject it. In 2016, I asked myself Tony Benn's 5 questions about the EU, its politicians and its institutions. What power have you got? Where did you get it from? In whose interests do you exercise it? To whom are you accountable? And how do we get rid of you? Now, the last 3 questions I could not answer convincingly about most of the big names within the EU. Given my concerns with democratic, and your position is to have a second referendum, Len, how in the holy fuck are you addressing my concerns? I didn't vote Leave for economic reasons. Most of us didn't. We don't want your free shit.
It's very difficult when the leader of the Labour Party, the man who wants to be Prime Minister, won't actually provide a lead on Brexit.
Oh, that's
we know from the Question Time debate, from the ITV debate, he won't say how he as Prime Minister would vote in a referendum for a Labour deal or Remain.
And that is true leadership.
What are your thoughts on this momentous occasion? Your neutralness?
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
I went over this in another video. Someone who wants to be Prime Minister just simply cannot sit on the fence on Brexit.
If people put Labour in power, they will see all of these issues actually put into practice.
But you just magic £58 billion worth of extra borrowing.
Well, it's not.
When the electorate, they look at Labour's offering and think, yes, there are quite a few policies there I rather like, but then they add them all up together and think, well, this is totally unaffordable.
Absolutely spot on from Iain here. I'm in favour of the WASPy women getting some form of compensation. My own mother is a WASPy woman herself, and until last year she was doing 60 hours a week with 2 cleaning jobs either side of a 9 to 5 for the council. But 58 billion is a lot of bloody money, especially on top of the 83 billion annually that the UK will be spending by 2024 under a Labour government, according to BBC's economics editor. These are astronomical amounts of money that Corbyn's throwing around. It's not fucking monopoly money, mate. We have to pay for this eventually, you know.
So Len keeps going on about like the polls and all that. He needs to get out and talk to people. He's just talking to his own circle. The man is toxic. You talk to people that canvass. I've got mates who canvass. It's always him. Can't vote for that bloke. Every time.
Doesn't that happen with all political leaders?
Long Bailey does a media interview, loses Labour thousands of votes. These people are serially incompetent. The credible, competent people are on the back benches. They were booted there because we had an influx of the SLWP people, and it's now become a cult.
I feel this guy's pain. I'm a traditional Labour voter from a huge old mining area. I can think of 8 pits within 20 minutes of drive of where I'm sat right now. And the folks around here still like Corbyn less than Thatcher.
Well, no, you're saying why didn't Unite support Corbyn, not Labour?
Sorry, Corbyn. The reality is that's the decision taken by our policy conference. That's the decision taken by our executive. Len McCluskey doesn't wake up one morning and suddenly decide that we're going to do this on behalf of Unite. And let me just say this, Carl. 2 years ago, Jeremy Corbyn took us within touching distance of power. Commentators virtually unanimously believe that
you were 60 seats away from it.
Well done, Iain, for being quick enough there. Labour weren't close at all. They got 262 seats, which is about 50, 60 short of it. The campaign from Corbyn was quite impressive, but all it did was put Labour back to where they were when Brown was ousted in 2010. In 2015, that disastrous campaign from Miliband, they brought home 232 seats, so 30 short of what Corbyn got. And then in 2010, Gordon and Brown got 258 seats, so he's just 4 short of Corbyn's 2017 performance.
He's got no chance, mate. Why do you keep on with this guff? He has got no chance. You know it. You're handing the next election to Johnson on a plate by leaving this man in place. It's too late now. All we can do afterwards is limit the damage.
Well, Colin, obviously I'm slightly more optimistic than you. I believe that we can win this election.
You need to look at reality, mate.
Colin, from Bexhill-on-Sea, you're a bloody legend, mate. I'm sure I can find a use for that further down the line.
You need to look at reality, mate.
When the results come in from this general election, I suggest the entire Labour Party has a good long look at reality. Watch as your working class heartlands in Wales, Midlands and the North are stripped from your grasp. We're workers, we're grafters, we're not shirkers. We don't want your free shit, Len. We don't want extremist liberal policies. All we want is jobs, opportunities, houses and the state to stay the fuck out of our personal lives.